Paul and Zalim went out together with a total of $140 and 20 cents. Okay, with a total of 140.20. Okay, now we have Zalim spends 4 times as much money as Paul. Okay, now when you see this 4 times as much as money as Paul, right, what can you do? There are 2 ways that you can do. Okay, just quickly name me the 2 ways that you can represent this information with. Okay, good. If you all say ratio is correct, okay, it's basically 4:1, correct or not? Correct or not? However, if you read the next part, right, when they say Paul, the money that Paul had left was $12 more than half, okay, which is 1 out of 2 of what Zalim had spent, okay, of what Zalim spent. The fact that they later on tell you more than, okay, it means, right, what method should we use? Okay, what method should we use? Oh yeah, you're telling me model. I accidentally slip out the correct method. Model, there's no way to do ratio from here already. Okay, because when you see more than or less than, there's no way you can do ratio. There's the only way is you use model, or you express in something like something units plus something, right? Okay, so that's usually what you'll do. But for primary school, I mean, for those of you who don't draw model, you are very advanced. It's okay if you always get correct, then you can feel free to do that. But for most of you, I will always recommend for primary school, right, if you see more than less than, you draw a model. Okay, so just reading up to this part, right? Okay, earlier part still can tell you is ratio because 4:1. But later on, when you see more than, you should know, okay, we have to do in model already. Okay, yeah. So how do we do in model? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So look at this. Zalim, okay, what Zalim had spent. Okay, if it's 4 times, agree with me, right, everyone, I will draw 4 units. Okay, so I will draw 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. Okay, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. Okay, can? Okay, let me rewrite this. So it's like it's aligned with the line. Zalim spent. Okay, versus what Paul has also spent. Now the keyword here is spent. Okay, so what you're going to do is whatever Paul has spent, right, okay, is going to be that 1 unit, okay, compared to this. So we draw this first. Okay, now next one, when they say what Paul had left was $12 more than half of what Zalim had spent. Half of what Zalim has spent. Okay, half of what Zalim has spent. First of all, what Zalim spent here, okay, it must be what fraction, everybody? What fraction is representing, okay, what Zalim has spent right here from your model? Okay, what fraction? Looking at this thing that they give you. Yeah. Two. Okay, some of you tell me 4 unit. Okay, in fraction form, isn't in fraction form, isn't it, do you agree with me, is 2 out of 2 of what Zalim has spent? It's like everything here. So half of it, half of what Zalim has spent, agree with me, y'all tell me 2, right? Because it's like that, right? Because currently I have 4 unit, right? So half of it will be 2 unit. Agree with me? Agree, okay, y'all can see the part I highlight, that's the half, okay, I understand. Okay, if you understand the part that I say half of Zalim spent is that 2 unit here, okay, out of that 4 unit, right? Because I just need to cut half, right? Okay, then now what Paul had left was $12 more. Okay, what Paul has left is $12 more. So that means, right, whatever Paul has left, okay, whatever Paul has left, okay, it will be $12 more than the 2 units. So it means when I draw my model that time, right, okay, I will draw it 2 units, okay, and then I will draw another $12 more, okay, $12 more. But of course I don't know the size of the 12. You get what I mean? The 12, right, I can draw it like until here. I can draw it like until here, the 12. The 12, I can draw it like until here. I really don't know the size of the 12. I just know that whatever Paul had left was $12 more than the half is here. Okay, that 2 units. So I need to include that 2 unit and then I add the $12 more. Okay, so far can you understand my model so far? Can you understand my model so far? Okay, I'm going to align this so that you all can see better. Huh? Okay? Can. Okay? Can you understand so far? Understand what I'm doing? Okay, I'm doing model method. There can be different ways of doing. Okay, you don't need to use model, you just use units and number also can do. But let me just straighten this model so it's in line. Okay, like you can see better. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So far okay, can understand. Okay, now so with this if you all can understand, wait, let me zoom in a bit more so it's easier for me also. Okay, what topic is this? This one fraction, whole numbers, model, yeah. Okay, can you all see the question? Yeah, so if you realize, if you have already been starting, you have started on your PSL papers, you realize, okay, fraction, ratio, percentage, these are the questions that usually they like to test you, and they like to come up with trickier questions on these topics, if you realize. Okay, having said that, this is not a PSLE question, this is a prelim question, I believe. Okay, so let's continue. If you understand this, okay, the amount, let me continue. Okay, the amount that Zalim had left was 1/5 of what Paul had left. Okay, what does it mean? So now, whatever Zalim left, you realize you have Zalim spend, you have Paul spend, you have Paul left. So whatever Zalim left, you don't know. You need to take the clues from here. Okay, but what Paul had left, you actually know it from here. Can y'all see that? You know it from here. So you can link this with your model here, okay? With your model here. And if I were to zoom in this, right, whatever Paul had left, right, is supposed to be that 5 parts. Versus whatever Zalim had left is supposed to be that 1 part. Can y'all see from the question? Okay, so if whatever Paul had left is supposed to be the 5 parts, right? 5 parts. Now, so you see your left here, it's not really like 5. You can see it's like 1 unit, 2 unit, and then a 12. It's not really a 5. So it's a bit hard to divide by 5. Get what I mean or not? Because if this is 5, I want to find 1, right? I need to divide by 5. Agree with me? So it's a bit hard to divide by 5 for this. Okay? So if it's a bit hard to divide by 5 for this, right? Okay, instead of letting it be 1 unit, 1 unit, which we will find it difficult to divide by 5, what is a unit that you will propose to put here? Such that you can divide by 5 later on. Okay, you have no problem dividing by 5. Okay, very good. Miyuki says, how about we make this into 5 units so that it can be divided by 5? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to continue with that. So I'm going to put, this is 5 unit. I mean, this is just my way of solving. There can be different way of solving. You don't want to put 5 unit there. You want to let it be 1 unit there, and you want to try to solve with this. It's okay also. Okay, it's just that I don't want to come across with too many decimal and fractions. So I'm going to let it be a multiple of 5 for Paul left as much as possible. So I'm going to let it be 5 unit. And if that's the case, right, I will make sure everything is 5 unit, okay? Because everything was same size earlier on. Okay, then what happened? Okay, now what Zalim had left was 1/5 of what Paul had left. It means, right, whatever Zalim had left is 1/5 of, okay, of what thing? 1/5 of what Paul had left, which is this one, okay, which is this one. And what is this? Okay, 5 unit plus 5 unit, 10 unit. Okay, 10 unit, and then there's a 12 here, plus 12. Okay, now, okay, so for primary school, right, okay, you will still put the times, okay? In secondary school, next time you will just put bracket like this. Okay, so it means that I want to find 1/5 of this 10 unit, okay? So if I 1/5 of the 10 unit, I will actually get 2 unit. But other than that, this 12, right, you need to cut it into 5 parts also. And you want that 1 part. So imagine this 12 is cut into like 5 slices, and you want that 1 part. Okay? So basically what you are doing is you are also going to take 1/5 times that 12. Okay, you are also going to take that 1/5 times that 12 here. Okay, so you just need your key calculator, 1/5 times 12. Okay, your 12 cut into 5 parts actually is a 2.4. Okay, so you should have something like this. Okay, and then now what happened? Okay, now how much money did Paul spend? Okay, to be able to even do that, you have to work with the only clue, the only number that we need to use, right? 140.2. 140.2 is whatever they went out together with, which means is their spent plus their left. Agree with me? Their spent plus their left. So what you are going to do, right, is you are going to add up. Okay, Zalim spent, Zalim left, Paul spent, Paul left. Everything add up together, right? 140.2. Okay, so let's add up all these together. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 unit. Okay, 7 of them. So 5 unit times 7. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then other than that, I also got that 2 unit I need to add plus 2 unit. Okay, now I'm going to add my numbers. Okay, on top of that, I got my 12 and I also got my 2.4. Okay, I got my 12 and I also got my 2.4. 12 plus 2.4. Okay, okay. So far okay or not? Okay or not? Okay or not? Okay, any careless, you let me know. So what you're going to do is 5 unit times 7, right, is actually 35 unit. Okay, now I add with the 2 unit. Okay, then 12 plus 2.4. Okay, I'll just write it down first. Okay, I write it a bit step by step for you to see. Okay, 35 unit plus 2 unit is 37 unit. So 12 plus 2.4, right, you will get 14.4. Okay, so this total money, okay, is equals to 140.20. So I'm going to equate that with 140.20. Jill, you did not draw for Salim. What Salim? Where got Salim? Where got Salim? Where got Salim? This one got Zalim only. Don't have Salim. Don't have S, right? You don't understand which part. I don't understand which part. Zalim left. I have added already. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Okay, what other question you have? So far you're okay or not? Seems like you're lost already, Let me see, times 5. Yeah, so far we are correct, so far, okay? Sure, can explain again why must multiple of 5. I tell you the 1 unit, why suddenly become 5 unit? I know this is a confusion, but you don't want to let it be 5 unit, it also can one. Can solve using, if you let it be 1 unit, also can solve one. I can show you a bit later, okay, if you don't understand that. It's okay one. I just continue this part first. Okay, so assuming this is okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 140.2 minus away 14.4 to get 37 unit, okay? So 37 unit is 140.20 minus 14.4, okay? So 140.2 minus 14.4, you will get 125.80. Okay, this part quite easy. To find 1 unit is 125.80 divided by 37, okay? So 125.8 divided by 37, you will get 3.4. How much money did Paul spend? Paul spent 5 units, okay? Can you see? If just now I put this is 5 unit, right? Then part A, right, you are supposed to find, okay, 5 unit, which is 5 times 3.4. Okay, 5 times 3.4 is 17. Now part B. How much money did Zalim have at first? So whatever Zalim have at first must be what Zalim had spent and what Zalim have left. Okay, so to be able to do that, right? Okay, Zalim spends is 5, 10, 15, 20 plus 2 unit here left. Okay, so currently we have 22. So currently we have 22 unit plus, okay, remember 5, don't be lost here. 5, 10, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, that is what Zalim spent. Plus 2 unit is 22 unit. And then you still have a 2.4. Okay, plus a 2.4. So if 1 unit is 3.4, Then 22 unit is going to be 22 times 3.4. Then you add up with a 2.4. Okay, you can use calculator because this is a paper 2 question. And then you will have 77.20. Okay, so part A, right, your final answer, okay, is going to be $17. Part B, your final answer is going to be $77.20. Okay, let me just show you the whole question again. Okay, yeah, let me address your question one by one. Okay, so just now some of you asked me why that one become 5 unit. I explain again. Because if I were to zoom in, right, I zoom into the question. Okay, whatever Zalim left was 1/5 of what Paul had left. So that means Paul left, it should be 5 parts. Okay, Paul left should be 5 parts. But if just now you didn't put 5 unit here, this is 1, 2, and a 12. If you want to take this to divide by 5, okay, you take this divide by 5, it's a bit hard to divide. So that's why instead of letting it be 1 unit, and a 12, I actually let it be 5 unit, and a 12. Such that my 5 unit I can divide by 5, I can get 1 unit. 5 unit I can divide by 5, I can get 1 unit. And then 12 I divide by 5, I get 2.4. It just make it a little bit easier. But if you don't like that, method, it's also fine. Okay, like for example, you don't like this 5 unit way, right? What you can do is you don't do this. Okay, you use the traditional way of using the 1 unit. You don't use 5 unit, use 1 unit, okay? Because blank you usually will put 1 unit, right? No problem. It's just that, okay, what you will face here is slightly challenging, which is okay, how your method will change, right, is instead of 10 unit plus 12, okay, let me just erase this, okay, instead of 10 unit plus 12, okay, I'm going to take 1/5 of whatever Paul had left, right? That is what Zalim had left, right, is 1/5, right? So I will take 1/5 of what Paul had left, I will take 1/5 of 2 unit plus 12, okay, 1 unit, 2 unit plus 12, okay, 2 unit plus 12, it's also okay. But this one is slightly more challenging, is because when you take 1/5, you times 2 unit, right, you will get 2/5 unit, okay? It's not a very nice number, it's a fraction. But it's also okay one, you can solve it like that, no problem. Okay, then after that, 1/5 times 12, you will get 2.4. No problem. This one also okay. Okay, your final answer will still be 17 and 77.2. Okay, it's just the method will just trickle down similarly, okay, using this method. So for example, if this is 140.20, right, altogether, it means all of them, right, whatever spent, whatever left, give you 140.20, right? So what you just need to do is you just need to add, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit, 5 unit, 6 unit, 7 unit. 7 unit plus 2/5 unit is 7 whole 2/5 unit. Okay, then you have a 12 and you have a 2.4, add together also. 12 plus 2.4. Okay, together they add up become 140.20. So it's 140.20. Okay, so 7 whole 2/5 unit plus 12 plus 2.4, right? 14.4 equals to 140.20. So 7 whole 2/5 unit, right, is equals to 140.20. You minus away the 14.4 because it's add, right, you want to get rid of that. So 140.2 minus 14.4, okay, you will get 125.80. The only difference is here is a bit hard, like to get 1 unit, but you should know it. Okay, from 7 whole 2/5 unit, right, to get 1 unit, right, you have to divide by the same number of 7 whole and 2/5. Okay, this number divided by this number will give you 1. Okay, just an example. Okay, example, if this is 3 unit, you want to go to 1 unit, right? Then naturally you will think of dividing by 3 because you want to divide by the same number, right? Just that now this one will become a fraction. You have to remember. Okay, you must take this divided by this, which means we have to take 125.80, right, divided by 7 whole and 2/5. Okay, with the use of calculator, it is not an issue. Okay, it's just that it's not something that's familiar with you. Okay, because you never, usually when it comes to units, you will not have fraction, you get what I mean? So you see, 1 unit you get 17 also. So how much did Paul spend? Paul spent 17. Same thing. You see, you get the same answer but different, slightly tweak a little bit in the method. Okay? Then how much money did Zalim have at first is the spend is 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit, and then the left, okay, plus 2/5 unit. So it's 4 whole 2/5 unit, okay? Let me see, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit, 4 whole 2/5 unit plus the 2.4. Okay, that's what Zalim, right? Zalim have first, so you must look at Zalim spend, Zalim left, yeah. So then it will be 4 whole 2/5 unit, right? So it's 4 whole 2/5 times 17 plus 2.4. Okay, likewise, if you key in the calculator correctly, right, you will have, okay, you have the same answer. Okay, 77.20. Yeah, okay, so you realize you get the same answer. Okay, Mrs. Ravi bought some spoons and forks. She paid $15 for the spoons and $60.60 more on the forks than the spoons. Okay, so now we just focus sentence by sentence. Okay, now just by this sentence alone, you can find something. Okay, what can you all find? What can you all find? Quantity time value, yes, it is. Yes, okay, good that you are able to spot the matter. Good, okay. Cost of the fork. Yes, you can find cost of the, okay, now this one singular or plural is important. Singular or plural is important. Do you call it fork or do you call it forks? Super important, okay? This quantity value is a bit like English. Forks, yes, forks. This is forks, okay, like plural, okay? So how you find that? If your spoon is $15, right, you pay $60.60 on the forks than the spoon. That means, yes, you plus. Because you pay more, right? So $15 plus $60.60. Okay, so that's the first thing you can find first. Yeah. Okay, so 15 plus 60, 15 plus 60, 60. Okay, you have $75.60. Okay, so that's the cost of the forks. Okay, now we have next one. 3 out of 4 of the cutlery bought were forks and the rest were spoons. Now this one, right, okay, here your mind needs to switch a bit. Just now it's talking about money for the spoon, money for the forks, and this is what we call the total money. Because for spoons, alright, 75, 60 is for forks, right? It's money. But when they say 3 out of 4 of the cutlery board were forks and spoon, this is not talking about money. This is talking about number of forks, number of spoons. In other words, this is called your quantity. So it means, right, out of 4 unit of your cutlery, 3 unit board were forks, right? So I'm just going to write F. It means, okay, in terms of your quantity, number of forks and number of spoons, right? Okay, quantity, your ratio should be, okay, forks to spoons, right? Your ratio should be 3:4. Okay, 3:4. So what you are going to do is going to let this be units. Okay, let this be units. Okay, so it's like 3 unit to 4 unit. That's how you interpret it. Okay, then the next one. Okay, 1 spoon costs 170 less than 1 fork. Now this one is a bit different already. This is talking about money already, but now not talking about forks, not talking about spoons, but talking about 1 spoon, 1 fork, 1 only. Okay, now singular. So your English, okay. So now it's talking about each value. Okay, everyone understand now? You must understand the question first. Each value. So this each value, right? 1 spoon, it costs 170 less than 1 fork. Means your 1 fork must cost 170. Okay, if 1 spoon is cost 170 less than 1 fork, means that your 1 fork must cost 170 more than 1 spoon. Okay, can you understand my model? Can you understand my model? Oh, yeah. Thank you. I just realized I have a canvas here. I just realized. Thank you for highlighting to me. I already do this, but then I forgot. Okay, so this one anyway. Later when you do your do that time, you realize your answer a bit off. You know somewhere you careless. Okay, so yeah. Total is 4 unit, right? Okay, so out of the 4 unit, 3 unit is for fork. So total 4 minus 3, okay, your spoon is 1 unit, okay? So it's 3 units to 1 unit, yeah, okay. Very good, you all can understand, okay, you can spot it, Okay, it's the answer 2350. I haven't solved it yet, okay, but by the way, I received this impromptu, I haven't got time to solve it. So, let me continue to solve it, okay? Okay, now, I know that y'all usually will put 1 unit here. Y'all usually will put that, but you cannot put that, you cannot put 1 unit in this case, because you have already used units for representing quantity. So now, value is a different thing already, it's separate from quantity. So, in primary school, you learn that the best friend of units will be what? Best friend of units will be? Will be part. Very good, part. So, y'all will use parts for this one, okay? Parts, So, this is one part like that, okay? Okay, so now, what happened? This heuristic, we need to take quantity times value, then can give us the total value. Okay, you might be thinking, teacher, what are you talking? I give you very, very simple example. If I tell you I got 3 fork, okay, I tell you 1 fork costs $2. 3 fork, what will you do? You will take the quantity of 3, you do what with the $2? What will you do? What will you guys do? You will times, right? Agree with me, you will times? Because if 1 fork is $2, then you got 3 fork, you must take 3 times the value of $2, right? Then becomes $6, right? Agree with me? You will times, right? Now, this type of easy one, you know, you will times, right? Okay, then the $6 is the total money for the 3 forks, right? Correct or not, everyone? Now, going back to this is a bit abstract, but it's the same idea. You must take how many fork and spoon you have, you times, okay, how much the spoon costs, how much the fork costs, then you get the total money for the fork, you get the total money for the spoon. It's the same logic, but just a bit more abstract here. Okay, some of you use grouping can also, okay, I know some of you draw some other model, you can do it also, no problem, okay. I'm just going to do it this way, okay. So I will do this table, which is called quantity times value, so it will look like this. Okay, so I will have items, I have fork, I have spoon. Okay, quantity, I'm going to get it from here, which is 3 unit and 1 unit, okay. Now, value is the money. Okay, 1 spoon costs 1 part, so I will put 1 part here. 1 fork costs 1 part plus 170, so it's 1 part plus 170. Okay, now here very, very alien to you all. You all probably never see this before, a bit like algebra. Okay, but my students, you all learn today, okay? After you learn already, it's quite easy one, okay? It's just what you need to do, right? 1 unit times 1 part, right? You will get 1. Okay, why? Because 1 times 1 is a 1. If you take U times P, right? This is something new to your 1 UP. Okay, something new to your 1 UP. Only for this type of question. Okay, only for this type of question. Okay, next one. 3 unit times 1 part, right? 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, U times P is UP. Next one, 3 unit times 1.7. Okay, so you will first take 3 times 1.7. 3 times 1.7, right? Okay, 3 times 1.7. Your calculator will give you 5.1. 5.1. Okay, then here, remember, you 3 times 1.7 is 5.1, but there's a unit there. So a unit times this number, you should get back unit here as well. This is what we call the total value. Okay, then now what we are going to do? We are going to equate to the number here. She paid $15 for the spoons, means your cost of the spoon here, that 1 UP, is equal to how much, everybody? How much? Okay, how much is this? Is UP unit part? Yes, unit part. Yeah, unit times part. UP is unit times part. You can write PU, part times unit is the same thing. Okay, you can write 1 PU, you can write 1 UP, is the same thing. 1 PU is the same as 1 UP. Why? Because if it's times, right, it doesn't matter which order you do. Yeah, if it's, for example, 1 times 2 times 3 is 6. It's the same as 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. Right? It doesn't matter, I can put the 3 in front, I can put the 2 here, I can put the 1 here. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So, okay, in this case, right, everybody now, if you're following me, right, you take quantity, you times value, this should be your total cost, right? So your total cost of spoons, according to this question, is how much money? Everybody, how much money? What is your value of 1 UP? 15, thank you, BD. Yes, she paid $15 for the spoon. So the total value of the spoon, 1 UP, should be equals to 15. Then how do you connect with whatever you have here? You need to find 3 UP. Okay, so to find 3 UP from 1 UP, 3 times 15 give you 45. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to highlight this. Okay, 3 UP plus 5.1 unit. Okay, this is your total value of all your fork. And the total value of all your fork, what is the number, everybody? Look at the question. What is the cost of all the forks, everybody? What's the cost of all the forks according to the question? This should be your total value of all your forks, right? This one. So yes, 75.6. So you write 75.60, okay? Then what happened? You already know 3 UP just now. You found out is 45, right? Okay, substitute this. 3 UP is 45. So replace this 3 UP with 45 plus 5.1 unit is 75.60. So 5.1 unit, you will take 75.60 minus away the excess of 45. Okay, on the left side. So 75.6 minus 45. Okay, you will have 30.6. So to find 1 unit, you will take 30.6 divided by this number in front, okay, which is 5.1. Divide by 5.1, okay, and then you have a very nice number of 6, okay, a very nice number of 6. And you should get a nice number. Why? Because your quantity is how many forks, how many spoons, right? So it must be, you cannot have 1.5 fork, you cannot have 3 whole and 2/3 fork, right? It must be a whole number. So over here you get a nice number, that means you're on the right track. Okay, now here, what was the cost of each spoon? What was the cost of each spoon? Okay, your cost of the spoon is value is 1 part. But the thing is, this is 1 unit. It is not your part. Part and unit is different. So what you know is actually, you know this is only 6. Okay, you know this is 6. Okay, common mistake also, you all think unit and part same. No, not same. So this one is 6. So now, I want you to look at this. If you got 6 spoons, 6 spoons cost, how much? How much? 6 spoons cost $15, right? You pay $15. Okay, see, so 6 spoons, you pay $15. So what is the cost of 1 spoon? What's the cost of 1 spoon? See, 6 spoons cost $15, right? So what's the cost of 1 spoon? Okay, yes, Nana say 15 divided by 6. Okay, so this is the thing. If 6 spoons, okay, it costs $15, then 1 spoon is you take $15 divided by 6. Okay, yes, so that's how you know that, oh, actually 1 spoon is $2.50 answer.
There were almond and chocolate cookies in the container. Mrs. Tan took out 35 almond cookies and 60% of the chocolate cookies. Okay, so let me see. Initially, you don't know almond and cookie got how many. Okay, then Mrs. Tan took out 35 almond cookies and 60% of the chocolate cookies. Okay, so what you can do, right? Okay, everybody, if you realize here they give you in percentage. Okay, 60% of the chocolate cookie. But later on, they tell you, right, the ratio of the almond cookies, okay, to the chocolate cookies was 2 to 5. Okay, so later on, right, they give you ratio. So we have 2 to 5. As you can see, right, if you have ratio here, I would suggest you all to also change this to ratio, okay, as much as possible. Okay, I know that some of you use percentage of, it's also fine, but I will use it in ratio. And how I use it, right, is if, okay, Mrs. Tan took out 60% of the chocolate, it means, right, chocolate at first, right, is how many percent? Chocolate at first is how many percent? And how many percent did Mr. Tan took out? Okay, took out. And then how many percent did he had left? Okay, can you all let me know the 3 numbers? The 3 numbers. Is the answer 3/5? Let me check the answer in a bit. Let me check the answer in a bit. Previously I did it already. So let me just open it up and show you all, since you all are done already. Actually, I got sent the answer key to the Telegram. So if you all go and see, right, you should be able to see it. Usually when I teach, I don't I don't really open the answer key. So let me open it up to show you. This is what 2025 ACS. ACS. Wait. 2025 ACS. This one. Okay. This is question 14. 14. 11 out of syllabus. Okay. 14. Yes, the answer is 3/5. Okay, the answer is 3/5. Those of you who want to check, the answer is 3/5, and then part B, right, is 126. Okay, 126. Okay, so now with this, right, you all should know that at first chocolate must be 100%. Okay, took out 60%. Okay, 100 minus 60, right, is 40. Okay, 40. So what you should do, right, is you try to simplify. Okay, as much as possible, you try to simplify. Okay, then after that, once you simplify already, right, okay, then you can divide, try to divide everything by 2. You will get 5:3:2. Okay, so you get this. And then with that, right, you should also write down the next ratio. Almond cookies to chocolate cookies, okay, is 2:5. 2:5 means almond, okay, almond that you have in the end, okay, versus chocolate you have in the end, okay, is 2:5. Okay, 2:5. So at this point in time, right, can you all see your repeated item? What is your repeated item? Jun say chocolate in the end is repeated. You're right. Okay, so chocolate in the end here, okay, is the one that is repeated. So we have to make it the same. So we have to times 5 here. And we have 2 times 2 here. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So you have 25:15:10. Okay, here you have 4:10. Okay, so what you are going to check, right? Okay, this one, it must be the same. Okay, chocolate in the end. Okay, then now what they say? What fraction of the chocolate cookies did Mrs. Tan take out from the container? Okay, so first of all, okay, read the question carefully. What fraction of the chocolate cookies means this should be your denominator. Okay, your denominator is not the total, not chocolate plus almond. Okay, it's not. It's your denominator is your chocolate cookies. Okay, then with that, right, Mrs. Tan take out from container means okay, your fraction should look like that. Chocolate that you take out, okay, out of your total chocolate. Okay, chocolate that you take out of your total chocolate. Actually, we found it just now. Okay, chocolate that you took out, simplest form is 3. Chocolate at first is 5. I mean, if you take 15 out of 25, it's also okay. But then they want give your answer simplest form. So end up you still need to simplify it. You get what I mean? You still need to simplify to 3 to 5. Okay, 3 out of 5. So that's how you do part A. Okay, but whatever that you're doing here, it will be needed for part B. You'll be needed for part B. Okay? Yeah, part B. Okay. So next one, we have Mrs. Tan, okay, had 154 more chocolate cookies than almond cookie at first. Now it's talking about at first already. So what happened? You can find almond at first. Okay? So how do you find almond at first? Okay. Look at this. Let me see. Okay. So your almond at first is using almond in the end. 4 unit. Okay? 4 unit. And then you do what with 35? Do what with 35? You see, Mrs. Tan took out 35. Then almond left with 4 unit in the end. So almond at first must be 4 unit and do what with the 35? Everybody, do what with the 35? Do what with 35? Yes, you can trick 60% straight away 3/5, no problem. Yes. Plus, right? Okay, plus 35. Yes, you're right. Plus 35. Okay, so almond at first is 4 unit plus 35. Okay, now what about chocolate cookies? Okay, chocolate cookies at first is 25 unit, right? 25 unit. Okay, 25 unit. Your almond at first is 4 unit plus 35. Okay, now look at this. The part that they say, okay, 154 more chocolate cookies than almond cookies. The part that they say more than, right? Okay, you can draw your model. You draw your model, you can visualize where to park your 154 better. So this is what you do. You draw your chocolate versus your almond, right? You draw the 154 more first.
Okay, you're gonna draw this 154 more. 154 more, huh? Okay, after you draw already, right, always fill up this blank one first. It's easier rather than tackling the longer one, because the blank one is easier to fill up, right? Your almond at first is 4 unit plus 35. So you just need to put in 4 unit and then another 35, right? Just put it in. Then it must be the same on top, right? Because it's the same bar. So 4 unit and 35. Okay? Then what happened? Okay. Let me see. Your chocolate cookie is 25 unit. Can you see? Your chocolate cookie is 25 unit. So now you know that, okay, everything here is 25 unit. Okay? And then you know how to do it. Very easy really. Okay? 25 unit minus away 4 unit, you will get these two numbers here. Can you all see? Okay, so 25 unit minus 4 unit equals to 35 plus 154. Okay, 35 plus 154. Okay, so I think the hard part is probably the model part, and then you need to fill up the things. From here it's quite easy. Okay, so 25 unit minus 4 unit, right, is 21 unit. Okay, so 1 unit will be 189. 189 divided by 21, you get 1 unit is 9. Okay, so how many almond and chocolate cookies were there left in the container in the end? Okay, so in the end is 4 unit and 10 unit, correct? Okay, just make sure the 25 unit when you get it here, right, okay, is in line with this 10 unit in the end, which is must be the same as this one. Then you can use this as your unit. So yes, so in the end, right, is 10 unit and 4 unit, right, together is 14 unit. Okay, 14 times 9. 14 times 9, you will get, okay, you will get 126. 126. Okay, so now this figure, right, we have 5 squares are drawn within a rectangular piece of paper. The leftover part is shaded, which is like this part shaded. Okay, okay, the side of square X measures 4 cm. So if you go inside and you mark out your 4 cm, this is your 4 cm, this is your 4 cm. Okay, this is your 4 cm most. Okay, then now what's the length of the side of square Y? Square Y. Okay, so they say got 5 squares. 5 squares. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and 5 square. The fact that they only place it like that, right? How we know that it straight away divide by 2, right, is because you see for your Y to be a square, I know that you're kind of assume it, but actually there's a kind of logic behind lah. Okay, so basically if this is a square, this is a square, and then you have a small square stacked right beside it. Okay, so for it to be, as you can see, if this square is stacked beside it, you see, can you see like this part is like the vertical part are the same for this and this. The vertical part are the same. Okay, if the vertical part are the same, right, for it to stick right beside X nicely with this Y, it means okay, because this part is the same, it means this must be a square that is exactly like this. It's a Y. Then it can nicely form like this. Else it's not possible to say divide by 2, because it can be a Y here, but you can have a square but it's bigger it can be like that. Correct or not? Then it will not have the same side. Okay, yeah, so you are right in saying that it's 4 divided by 2. Yeah, it's 4 divided by 2, so you just get 2. Okay, I know this one is like why you spend so much time explaining, but not everything can assume. Not everything. This one okay lah, if you don't understand logic, you assume still okay. I tell you, geometry don't assume. Okay, geometry, especially angles. If they never tell you it's equal line, don't assume equal. They never tell you 30 degree, don't go and put 30 degree. Once you assume for geometry, that's it. You might get the whole question wrong. It can be 4 mark, 5 mark. It's very scary one. Okay, this kind still okay. Okay, now next one. The breadth of the leftover paper is 1.5 cm. So they are saying, okay, this one the breadth is 1.5. What is the length of the rectangular piece of paper? Okay. So with this, okay, 1.5, you know this is 1.5. Okay, then this is what you do. Because you are a bit stuck, right? Go back to your figure. Look at the lengths. Okay, because it's a square, right? You should know all sides of the square are equal. So if this is a 2, right?
for your y, then you should know, okay, this is also a 2. Okay, just mark it out also. If you know this is a 4, right, below here is also the 4. Okay, the length is also 4. Okay, so you should have this. You can fill it up accordingly. Okay, so with this, right, now you want the length of the rectangular piece of paper, means you need the whole thing like that. Okay, you need the whole thing like that. Okay, you all tell me what other things you can do. Any clues you all still can find? Is the answer 17.5? Is B 17.5? Just now I flashed a quick one, right? Yes, it's 17.5. Yeah, but how you know? How you know it's 17.5? Okay, so the trick is actually like this. Okay, the trick is actually like this. Since they tell you it is a square, so it means okay, let me just go back again. So since they tell you this is a square, right? So following the same logic I explained to you all again, right? The length must be equal, ma. So how do you get this length of this medium-sized square? Okay, is that you take this one, you take 4 plus 2. Okay, so 4 plus 2, you know, okay, the length here is 6. So you know this is 6 also. Okay, so you can find out this one first. Then once you find out this is 6, right, then you can work with the clue. If this is 6 and this is 4, right, now we can find the length of the biggest square right here. So 6 plus 4 is a 10. Okay, so this one is a 10. And then this is also a 10. This is also a 10. Okay, so together, right, to find the length of everything here, it will be adding up all these numbers. 10 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1.5. Okay, 10 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1.5. So that will give you 17.5. Okay, yes. So this one is 17.5 cm. Okay, there are different ways of doing okay, this is just one of the way. Okay, so Paul cut out each of the 5 squares on a rectangular paper into 2 cm squares. He then used the 2 cm squares to form cubes. What is the greatest number of cubes that Paul can make? Okay, so this is what they are saying. Okay, it's a cutting out question. So they are saying, right, this 5 square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 squares, right, he cut out already. And then with that, right, he is going to further cut into 2 cm squares. So it means, right, what you need to do is you need to take these 5 squares, which is, I'm going to highlight in like that, like that. And this rectangular piece of paper, right, is measuring 10 by 10 plus 4 plus 2. Okay, so your rectangular piece of paper, let's imagine, by 10 plus 4 plus 2, which is 16. Okay, imagine, this, okay, so it's a 16 like that. Okay, so this is the part that he cut out the 5 squares. Okay, and he cut this out into 2 cm squares. So now method 1 is I take this whole 5 squares out, I put in the rectangular piece of paper. Then I try to cut 2 cm square like that. Doing another way is I don't treat it as a big rectangle. I treat it as 5 different squares. Okay, imagine I'm drawing like squares. I know it doesn't look like square, but imagine. Okay, then this one is I cut the 2 by 2, cut 2 by 2, cut 2 by 2, then cut 2 by 2, cut 2 by 2. Okay, now I want you to look at method 1 and method 2. Do you think it matters or not? Do you think it matters? This is 10 by 10. This is 4 by 4. This is 2 by 2. Which one do you think is correct? Method 1 or method 2? Y'all think method 2 is correct? Okay, good. Okay, I see that most of you tell me method 2 is correct. Okay, I want to say that y'all are very good. Y'all tell me method 2 is correct. It's good. Yes, method 2 is correct. But in this case, right, method 1 and method 2, it wouldn't differ because there's no wastage. Why no wastage? Because if you cut 2, you cut a 10, you cut a 2 from 10, right? It can be nicely divided. 10 divided by 2, you can cut 5. Right? You cut a 2 from a 4. 4 divided by 2, you can cut 2. Right? You cut a 2 by 2, 2 divided by 2, you can cut a 1. So there's no wastage. That's why if you do this method and do this method, you will get the same answer.
you get the same answer. But this is technically the correct way in case there's wastage. Wastage, for example, let's say this is not 10 by 10, it's 11 by 11. This is, let's say 11 by, add one more 17. The answer here and here will differ. This one you will get less number. This one you will get more number because you don't really care. You will combine all the square together to work out the answer, right? You get more number. But which one is correct? Method 2 is correct. Okay, so I just want to highlight this, that actually it's important to be sensitive to all the individual length. Yeah, okay, individual length. So the best way is really to use method 2. So now if I want to cut 2 by 2, okay, so if here 10, right, I cut a 2. 10 divided by 2, I can cut a 5. I can cut 5 of them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can cut 5 of them. Okay, then here 10 I also divide by 2. I want to know how many I can continue to cut. Okay, you realize also can cut 5 of them. 2 cm, 4 cm, 6 cm, 8 cm, 10 cm. So if I can cut 5 here, I can cut 5 here, right? Okay, so in this square, I can cut out 5 by 5, 25. Okay, then we move on to the next one. If here, I cut out a 2 from a 4. So 4 divided by 2, I know that, okay, I can cut out 2 of them. I can cut out 2 of them, right? 4 divided by 2, I can cut out 2 of them. Then likewise, 4, I divide by the length of 2, I know that I can cut out 2 of them also. 2 of them also. Okay? So it's same thing, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So if I can cut out 2 here, I can cut out 2 here. As you can see when I cut it out, right, is 2 by 2 is a 4. Okay, 2 by 2 is a 4. Okay. Yeah. Then after that, here is 2 by 2. Means you can cut out one of them. Then here is the same thing, right? 2 by 2, you cut out one of them. So this one you cut out 25 already. Okay. This one you cut out 4 already. Okay. This one you cut out 1, plus 1, plus 1. Oops. Okay. And then last but not least, the top one. Top one, which is this one. Okay, 6 by 6. So how many 2 can you cut out from the 6? 6 divided by 2. You can cut out 3. So 6 divided by 2, you can cut out 3. Okay, if you can cut out 3 of them, right? Likewise, for this one, you also try to divide by 2. You can cut out 6 divided by 2, you also get back 3. So you cut out 3 by 3, right? 3 times 3 is a 9. So the last one that you need to go and add, right? How many you can cut out from here is a 9. Okay, last 9. Okay, so that's how you can find the 2 cm squares 40. What is the greatest number of cubes Paul can make? I haven't answered the question when I get 40. 40 is only 2 cm squares. Yeah, it's number of 2 cm squares only. Okay, number of 2 cm squares. You cut out 40, 2 cm squares. So 2 cm squares like that. 2 cm by 2 cm. Okay, this is only number of squares, but you want the cube, right? Cube is like that. Oh, like that. 40 divided by 6. Yeah, okay. So anyway, for a cube, right, you all must know, you open up the net, right? It is made out of 6 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, why is it made out of 6 squares? Because front, back, top, bottom, left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's made out of 6 squares. So if you are trying to make a cube and your cube is a 2 cm cube, right? That means to make a cube you need 6 of the 2 cm squares. So then naturally if you were to assume, okay, the squares make up a cube, right? Then it will be taking the 42 cm squares, you need to divide it by 6 because you need 6 squares to make up one cube. And then in this one, you will get 6 remainder, 4 more squares that you haven't used it. So what's the greatest number of cubes that he can make? Then naturally your answer will be a 6 here. If you interpret the question in this way. Figure OABCD is formed by overlapping 2 similar quarter circle OAC and OBD. So OAC is this one, quarter circle. Okay, OBD is this one, quarter circle.
OA equals to OB equals to OC equals OD. Okay, so they are saying OA equals to OB equals to OC equals to OD, and they are all 10 cm. Okay, we note that already. The area of shaded part OBC is 30 cm square. Perimeter of the shaded part OBC is 26. Perimeter of shaded part OBC means this one plus this one plus this one is 26. Okay, find the area of figure O, A, B, C, D, which means the whole thing. For this question, find out things you can find first, and what you can find is actually your quarter circle, OAC. Okay, your quarter circle, like that. So, area of OAC, which is your quarter circle, is 1/4 times pi times, okay, radius times radius. So that's what you can find first, isn't it? Okay, so you go and find whatever you can find first, and then you will get 78.5. So you see, this part is 78.5, and with that, right, you know the shaded part is 30. Okay, so what can you do? What can you do? You know like that is 75.8, you know like that is 30, so you can find? You can find? Everyone, you can find? You can find? Okay, bye. Okay, bye, Ming Heng. See you. So everyone, you can find your OAB. Agree with me? You minus, correct. Area of OAB is you take 78.5 minus 30. Okay, now, usually if you all are stuck for this question, it's probably because, I know when I do it, it's like, so easy, right? But it's usually you all are stuck, it's probably because you all never highlight this shape. Then you all cannot even find out this. Then you all cannot even see that this is this. Then you all cannot even see that because this is this, you can minus this. So little things that you should be doing is like highlighting the figure when they tell you quarter circle. See, I highlight with one color. Okay, another quarter circle. See, I highlight with another color. So it helps me to visualize better. Okay, yeah. So likewise, this is a quarter circle, right? It is the same as this quarter circle. Why is it the same? Because it has the same radius. It has the same radius. Okay, so this quarter circle is going to also be 78.5. So you minus away the 30, right? You will also get, okay, 48.5 here. So this is 48.5. Okay, then very easy already. Okay, last but not least, to find the whole figure, right? This one, just add together. 48.5 plus 30 plus 48.5. Okay, 48.5 plus 30 plus 48.5. You'll get 127. Okay, that's how you get the answer for part A. Okay, part B. Perimeter of figure OABCD. OABCD, which is like that. Okay, so perimeter. Okay, to find the perimeter, now I don't look at area anymore. I look at perimeter. Okay. Perimeter is always the hard one. Okay, now we work with perimeter. Perimeter of shaded part of OBC. This one is 26. Now everybody, we already know that this one is 10. We already know that this one is 10. Okay, that's the radius. So if this plus this plus this is 26, right? So we must first take 26 minus 10 minus 10. Okay, I repeat again. Take 26 minus 10 minus 10. Then you can get the arc BC here. Okay, so arc BC is 26 minus radius of 10 minus radius of 10. You get a 6. So you'll know, okay, this part is 6. Okay, then after that, what happened? You can find circumference of a quadrant. Okay, like this one. Okay, circumference of the quadrant, right? Circumference of quadrant. So 1/4 times 3.14 times, okay, diameter. Okay, this is the part. This is the part that you're always like very confused. Look at this. Okay, if this is your quadrant, your diameter is what? Your diameter is not 10. Okay, you all usually try to sub in 10. If this is your quadrant, right, I want you to imagine the big circle. If you imagine the big circle, okay, imagine you close up the big circle, right? The diameter is actually like that. Can you see? So the diameter, right? The diameter is 20, It's 10 plus 10. Okay, if radius 10, right, then your diameter is 20. Yeah, okay. So 0.25 times 3.14 times 20. Okay, you will get the circumference 15.7. Okay.
Now, so 15.7 is what? 15.7 is this one only. So if 15.7 is like that, you can minus away the 6. So you take 15.7 minus away the 6. Okay, you will get 9.7, which is like from here to here. Okay, and if you know this, right, the other part is the same because it's the same quadrant, right? Remember, just now we say that the quadrant is the same because this quadrant is the same as this yellow quadrant as the radius is 10. Okay, same radius means confirm is the same quadrant. Okay, yeah, so now finally to find the perimeter of OA, B, C, D, the whole thing, right? I just need to add this with this, with this, with this, with this. Perimeter only look at the outline, only the outside. Don't go add this, don't go add this, okay? Inside no need, so just add all this together. So what we are going to do last step, 9.7 plus 6 plus 9.7 plus 10 plus 10, okay? Now you see the way how I do it, right? I circle along the way when I am adding, because I want to make sure I add every single thing, okay? Now the usually perimeter, what is the common mistake is you add, then forget add something, right? So these are little things that I do. I don't know whether you all realize or not. It prevents careless mistake for me, and I think that it will prevent careless mistake for you also. Okay, so yeah, you add everything together. That's how you get 45.4 answer. 45.4.